We're going to look at finding notes on our guitar fretboard. And we have to just be reminded of a few things that we've talked about in class, and that is between whole steps. It takes two halves to make a whole, and your fretboard is divided up into half steps. So that means we're going to move 2 frets to get from one note to the next. As an example, let's find the 5th fret on your E string. String number 6, 5th fret is an A note. In the alphabet or in a scale, what comes after A is B. That's one whole step. It means I'm going to move 2 frets to get there. So 1, 2. Up on my 7th fret now is a B note. So between any whole steps here, we've got 2 frets to move. Another example would be the 3rd fret on your E string is a G note. So in music, what comes after G is A. It just starts over again. So we have one whole step between G and A. That means we're going to move 2 frets. 1, 2. That's what gets us to our A note on the 5th fret. This is true for between all the notes except for these 2 exceptions. And if you recall, those 2 exceptions are called natural half steps. And those occur between 2 pairs of notes, E and F and B and C. So what that means is I'm only going to move 1 fret between those special pairs of notes called natural half steps. If we start on our string number 1, which is an E note, and F is the next note, I'm only going to move 1 fret. That means the 1st fret on my high E string is an F note. Whole step after F is G. I will move 2 frets because that's not one of our special natural half step places. So 1, 2. On the 3rd fret then gives me a G note. After G is A, 1 whole step, 2 frets. 1, 2. 5th fret, I'm back to an A note. After A comes B. I have 1 whole step again, 2 frets. 1, 2. A B note. What comes after B? A, B, C. C is next, but our natural half step, our exceptions to this rule, are between E and F, and B and C is the next pair. So that means from my B note right here on the 7th fret, I'm only going to move 1 fret, and now it's a C note. After C comes D, I'm back to my normal, which is 2 frets, 1, 2. There's my D note. After D comes E, I'm going to move 2 frets, 1, 2. Now I'm at an E note, and if you notice on your guitar, most guitars have either 2 dots or some special marking. This is the octave, the 12th fret, E note to a higher E note. If I want to play the next note, after E comes F, my natural half step, I'm going to move 1 fret. So from E to F, here's my E, 1 fret gives me an F. Let's find some notes on our D string. E, A, D. D is your 4th string. D note. What comes after D? Yes, an E note. That's a whole step. How many frets will we move? 2. So here we go. D note. 1, 2. There's my E. What comes after E is F. How many frets will I move? Waiting. 1 fret. Because it's a fill in the blank natural half step. So we move 1 fret. E note, F. Nicely done. After F comes G. We're going to move 2 frets. 1, 2, and we get to our G note. So we can find any note up the fretboard as long as we know a few rules. The name of the string we're starting with, that's our starting note. Then we simply have to know if I'm going to move 1 fret or 2 to get to the next step. It's always 2 frets except E and F and B and C, the natural half steps. There. Nice review on the fretboard. Part 2 of this little review video is we're going to talk about enharmonics. Enharmonics are those notes in between those whole steps. So let's find that A note again on our 6th string. That's our 5th fret. E, F, G, A. So between A and B is our whole step, 2 frets, A, B. But we have this fret in between. On a piano, it's those black keys in between all the white ones. It has two names. This is called an enharmonic. One note, one pitch, one tone, but two names. A sharp name and a flat name. A sharp means you've raised a note by a half step. In our case on the guitar, a half step is one fret. I've moved up one fret, or a semitone, makes it sharp. If I move a note lower by one fret, I've lowered it a semitone. I've made the note flat. So from A going up one fret makes it an A sharp note. But it's also one step below the B. So therefore, it's called B flat. So it has two names, A sharp and B flat. Let's look at the fret in between another set of notes, G and A. Let's find G on our low E string, E, F, one fret because of the natural half step, G. There's my G note. The other way I remember that is my G chord. I'm not playing that one. I'm playing this one right here. G note, G. So a whole step between G and A, two frets. This fret in between will have two names. G sharp, because it's higher than G, or A flat, because it's lower than A. Let's find the notes between F and G. We have this fret in between. Two names. What are they? Are you thinking of them? I'm thinking of them. They are F sharp or G flat. So hopefully that'll help you to remember the notes on your fretboard. And thanks for watching, and keep practicing.